When men return to you after no contact. Let me tell you something, when a man comes back after no contact, it isn't just a coincidence. It isn't random. He felt your absence, and if you think your silence didn't speak, oh, it roared. Your absence made a statement louder than any words you could ever say. But here's the question, when he returns, are you the same woman he left? See, you don't sit around waiting for someone to figure out your value. You know your worth. And when you know your worth, you don't entertain anything less than respect. If he left you once, that means he was willing to risk losing you. And if he comes back, you better make sure he understands this is not a revolving door. Don't get excited just because he slid back into your life. Ask yourself, why now? Is he coming back because he realized your value or because his options ran out? Don't let a text message shake the foundation you built while he was gone. You spent time healing. You spent time growing. You spent time rebuilding. Don't let a ghost from your past disrupt the future you're stepping into. If he didn't value you in your presence, don't let him manipulate his way back because of your absence. And let me make this clear, an apology without change is just manipulation. If his return isn't followed by real action, real growth, and real respect, then it's nothing but empty words. You are not a second option. You are not a backup plan. And you will not lower your standards because you feel lonely. When he returns, you hold your head high, you walk in your power. You set the standard. Either he steps up or he steps out. And if he can't meet the new version of you, that means he was never meant to walk into the future God has for you. You don't chase, you don't beg, and you definitely don't settle. You are a woman of value, a woman of strength, a woman of purpose. And if a man wants a seat at your table, he better come correct. Know your worth. You are not an option or a backup plan. Let this sink in. You are not an afterthought. You are not a second choice. You are not someone's maybe or their convenience when it suits them. You are not a backup plan waiting in the wings while others live their best lives. You are a priority. You are worthy of being cherished, respected, and valued, not only when it's easy or convenient, but always. When you truly know your worth, everything changes. You stop accepting breadcrumbs of affection, half-hearted apologies, and one-sided relationships. You stop allowing people to treat you as if you are replaceable, because the truth is you are irreplaceable. There is no one else on this planet with your unique combination of personality, gifts, and experiences. And anyone who fails to see that, they are not worthy of a front row seat in your life. Understand this, the way people treat you is often a reflection of how you treat yourself. If you constantly allow yourself to be an option, people will continue to treat you that way. But the moment you raise your standards and refuse to settle for anything less than you deserve, the game changes. You set the tone for how others are allowed to engage with you. Stop waiting for others to validate your worth. Stop hoping someone will finally see your value when you've known it all along. You don't need their approval. You don't need to be chosen to be valuable. You already are valuable. Your time, energy, and love are precious commodities. Stop handing them out to people who don't respect or reciprocate them. If someone cannot see your value, that is their loss, not yours. Let them go. Release the people who treat you like an option so you can make room for those who will treat you like a priority. The right people will never make you feel like you are too much, too difficult, or too hard to love. They will recognize your worth without you having to prove it. It's time to raise your standards, not out of arrogance, but out of self-respect. You deserve to be with people who celebrate you, not tolerate you. You deserve relationships that are built on mutual effort, not one-sided sacrifice. You deserve love that is consistent, not conditional. And don't just apply this to romantic relationships. This applies to every area of your life. Friendships, family, work. You deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift you, environments that value contributions and opportunities that align with your potential. If something or someone is causing you to shrink, question your worth, or settle for less, walk away. Never forget you are not an option. You are not someone's just in case. You are not a filler for their loneliness or a placeholder until something better comes along. You are a person of immeasurable worth. And from this moment on, you will carry yourself accordingly. The power of absence. Your silence isn't weakness. It's a statement, Doc. Silence is a language few understand, but everyone feels. It's not retreat. It's not surrender. It's a deliberate, calculated move that shifts the balance of power in your favor. When you remove yourself, your energy, your presence, your voice, you force others to confront a harsh reality, what life feels like without you. Absence creates a vacuum, and nature hates a vacuum. When you step back, that empty space becomes impossible to ignore. It lingers. It echoes. People who once took you for granted are left with the weight of your absence, realizing too late how much you mattered. Your silence becomes the loudest message they'll ever hear. Because here's the truth, people don't value what's always available. Familiarity breeds complacency. When you're constantly present, always accessible, they assume you'll always be there. But when you withdraw, when you remove the comfort of your presence, that's when the real awakening happens. It's human nature to crave what's missing, to chase what's distant. Your absence stirs curiosity. It sparks reflection. And it forces people to question everything they thought they knew about you. Think about it. When someone goes silent after being loud, when someone who was always there suddenly isn't, that shift is jarring. It disrupts the pattern. And that disruption is powerful. It triggers reflection. Did they push you too far? Did they underestimate you? Your absence forces them to confront their own behavior, their own mistakes, and the reality of losing access to you. Silence isn't weakness, it's control. It's self-respect. It's recognizing that not everyone deserves your energy. And when you walk away quietly without explanation, you're making a statement that no words could ever capture. You're saying, I refuse to beg for attention. I refuse to stay where I'm not valued. I choose myself. And here's the secret. Absence elevates your value. Scarcity creates desire. When you're no longer available, when you stop giving endless chances, you become rare. And people value what's rare. They respect what they can't easily access. Your absence shifts the power dynamic. It places you in a position of strength while leaving others to grapple with the consequences of losing you. So don't be afraid to step back. Don't be afraid to go silent. Let your absence speak volumes. Because when you master the power of absence, you stop chasing and you start attracting. You stop explaining and you start commanding respect. And the people who deserve you, they'll recognize your value before it's too late. Demand respect, not apologies. A return without transformation is nothing but a repeat of the past. If someone comes back into your life with the same mindset, the same habits, and the same patterns, don't be fooled, nothing has changed. Words are easy to speak, but it's actions that reveal the truth. Too often people get caught in cycles of forgiving empty apologies and hoping that this time will be different. But without true change, without visible, consistent growth, history is bound to repeat itself. You deserve more than words. You deserve more than promises that fade when the moment gets tough. Real respect is shown in behavior, not in apologies whispered in the heat of regret. Anyone can say, I'm sorry, but it takes real character to show through action that they value you and are willing to change. Don't be moved by temporary guilt or flowery words. Watch how they move when no one is watching. Pay attention to how they treat you when there's nothing to gain. His respect isn't demanded by begging for it. It's earned by how you carry yourself and by the boundaries you enforce. When you accept apologies without transformation, you give people permission to keep hurting you. Your time is too valuable to waste on empty gestures. If they truly respect you, you won't have to ask for it. They will show it. And if they don't, you have every right to walk away without apology. Stop accepting cycles of broken promises. Demand a higher standard. Demand consistency. Demand action, because you are worth it. Never let your desire for connection make you blind to patterns. A return without transformation is not reconciliation, it's repetition. And you deserve better than the same pain in a different disguise. Set the standard. You teach people how Tia treat you. Listen closely. You set the standard for how people treat you, whether you realize it or not. Every time you allow disrespect, every time you tolerate inconsistency, every time you accept less than you deserve, you're sending a message that you're telling the world, this is what I'm willing to put up with. And let me be clear, what you tolerate will not only continue, it will grow. If you want to live a life where you are valued, respected, and honored, then you must become intentional about establishing clear boundaries, not just for your time, your energy, and your resources, but for your heart. Why? Because your heart is precious. Your choice is priceless. And if you don't protect it, if you don't guard it, people will trample over it without a second thought. Understand this, boundaries are not walls. They're not meant to shut people out or keep you isolated. No, boundaries are the healthy lines you draw to let people know how to love and respect you properly. Boundaries communicate your worth. They tell the world, I am not available for mistreatment. I am not accessible to chaos. I am not an open door to manipulation. When you set boundaries, you are declaring that you value yourself enough to protect what is sacred. You're showing others that while you may be kind, you are not weak. While you may be patient, you are not passive. While you may be forgiving, you will not be foolish. And here's the truth. Not everyone will like your boundaries. Some people will be offended when you start saying no. Some will push back when you stop overextending yourself. And others will walk away when you decide you will no longer accept their half-hearted love or careless words. Let them. Because anyone who cannot honor your boundaries does not deserve access to your life. The right people will respect you more for having standards. They will rise to the level of your expectations. And those who won't were never meant to stay. So ask yourself, what have I been allowing that means to stop? What conversations have I tolerated that have been breaking my spirit? What behaviors have I accepted that have drained my peace? It's time to draw the line. It's time to raise the bar. Start speaking up when something feels wrong. Stop apologizing for wanting respect. Learn to walk away from people who refuse to honor you. You are not a doormat. You are not an option. You are not a dumping ground for other people's dysfunction. And if you don't teach people how to treat you, life will. But it's always better when you decide. So today, set the standard. Not because you're hard-hearted, but because you know your worth. Not because you're cold, but because you value your peace. Establish clear boundaries for your heart, because no one else will do it for you. Don't let loneliness lower your standards. Being alone is better than being mishandled. Loneliness can be a heavy burden. There's no denying that. The quiet moments can feel like an echo chamber, amplifying your insecurities and making you question your worth. You watch others in relationships seemingly happy and wonder, why not me? It's human to crave connection. It's natural to want someone to share your victories and support you through your struggles. But here's the truth. Being alone is far better than being mishandled, misunderstood, or mistreated. When loneliness creeps in, it tempts you to settle. It whispers lies that anyone is better than no one, that your standards are too high, and if you don't lower them, you'll always be alone. But listen closely. Your peace is too precious to compromise. No relationship is worth sacrificing your self-respect, your dignity, or your mental and emotional well-being. Your comeback is stronger. You're not the same person they left behind. There comes a point in life where people walk away. Friends drift, relationships break, and those you thought would be there forever suddenly vanish. It hurts deeply. But here's the truth. Their absence isn't your end. It's your beginning. When they return, and trust me, many will, don't let them find the same version of you they left behind. Make sure they meet a stronger, wiser, and unstoppable version of yourself. See, life has a way of revealing who truly belongs in your story. When people leave, it's easy to feel broken, abandoned, and unworthy. But their departure isn't a reflection of your value. It's an invitation to rise, to rebuild, to become a force they never expected. In their absence, you get to grow in silence. While they move on thinking you'll stay the same, you grind harder, you learn faster, and you evolve beyond recognition. Let the pain fuel your progress. Let the rejection sharpen your vision. Because when they left, they thought they were leaving you behind, but in reality, they were setting you up for your greatest comeback. Don't waste your energy proving yourself to people who walked away. Instead, prove it to the version of you that almost gave up. Prove it to the nights you cried yourself to sleep. Prove it to the dreams you put on hold. Because someone didn't see your worth. And when they return, because don't welcome them back with open arms like nothing changed. No, let them face the version of you that refuses to settle. Let them meet the person who doesn't need their approval to feel whole. Let them realize they lost something rare, something they can't get back. You're not the same person anymore. You're wiser because of the lesson, stronger because of the struggle, and more valuable because you stopped waiting for people to validate your worth. So keep pushing, keep rising. Every step you take is a reminder that your comeback story is being written page by page. And when the world sees you again, they won't recognize the person you've become. Here's the truth: your comeback isn't just about proving people wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you're capable of more. You're not the same person they left behind. You're stronger, wiser, and more powerful than ever before. Let their absence be the fuel that drives your transformation. Keep rising, keep growing, and never shrink to fit someone else's expectations. When they return, they'll realize they lost someone irreplaceable. But by then, you won't be looking back. You'll be too busy building the life you deserve. This is your comeback season, and nothing can stop you now. When someone leaves your life, whether they drift away quietly or slam the door, you need to understand something deep in your spirit. Their exit does not diminish your value. Their silence does not define your worth. And when they come crawling back, it is not because they suddenly discovered you're valuable. It's because they realized that something priceless. But hear me clearly, just because they return doesn't mean they have earned the right to sit at your table again. Not everyone who leaves deserves a seat when they come back. People will test you. They will try to re-enter your life to see if the door is still open. But this is where you must stand firm and understand you are the prize. You are not an option. You are the only choice for anyone who deserves you. When you know your worth, you stop entertaining half-hearted efforts. You stop accepting breadcrumbs when you deserve the whole feast. You stop making excuses for people who didn't see your value the first time. Why? Because when you know who you are, when you understand what you bring to the table, you don't beg people to stay. You don't chase. You don't plead. You simply stand in your power and let your absence speak louder than your words ever could. Some of you have been allowing people to walk in and out of your life like it's a revolving door. Enough. You are not a temporary fix for someone's loneliness. You are not the fallback plan when their other options didn't work out. You are not a pit stop. They either value you fully or they don't get access at all. And if they couldn't appreciate you when they had you, why should you give them the privilege of your presence now? Your love, your time, your energy, these are precious gifts. Stop handing them out to people who didn't earn them. Stop lowering your standards because you're afraid of being alone. Your worth is not up for negotiation. When you carry yourself with the confidence of someone who knows their value, you attract a different level of treatment. You teach people how to treat you by the standards you set and the boundaries you enforce. So when someone tries to return after no contact, you don't just open the door, you evaluate. You question, you discern. And if they haven't grown, if they haven't changed, if they're coming back with the same old behavior, they can keep walking. You deserve consistency, not convenience. You deserve commitment, not confusion. And you deserve someone who values you from the beginning, not just when they realize what they lost. Know your worth and never ever settle for less again. Let me tell you something powerful. Your absence speaks louder than your words ever could. When you pull back, when you walk away, when you go silent, they feel it. And if they had any sense at all, they will realize something they lost, something rare. Something valuable, something they may never find again. See, people don't always appreciate what they have when it's right in front of them. As long as you're available, always answering their calls, always showing up, always making room, they get comfortable. They start to take you for granted. They think you'll always be there, but the moment you pull back, when you stop chasing, when you stop calling, when you remove yourself, that's when the truth hits them. That's when they feel the void your presence used to fill. And here's the truth, they come back because they feel the power of your absence. When you were there, they thought they had time. They thought they had options. But when you step back, when you chose yourself, when you stopped giving them the benefit of your energy, that's when the reality set in. No one else could replace you. Understand this, your presence is a gift. Not everyone deserves it. And when you finally walk away, it does something to people. It forces them to sit with themselves. It forces them to see the gap you left behind. And for some, that realization is too much to handle. They remember how you supported them when no one else did. They remember how you cared when they were broken. They remember how you loved without conditions. And when they try to find that same energy somewhere else, they can't. Because what you bring is unique. Let me be clear, they don't come back because they miss you. They come back because they miss how you made them feel. They miss the comfort of your presence. They miss the security you provided. They miss knowing that no matter how much they messed up, you were still there. But here's the question you need to ask yourself. Are they coming back because they've changed? Or are they coming back because they miss the benefits of having you around? Don't let their return fool you. Some people only come back because they realize life without you is harder. They come back because they lost access to the peace you gave them, the support you offered, and the love you poured out. But if they didn't value those things when they had them, why should you open the door again? And here's the most dangerous thing. Some people don't come back because they love you. They come back to see if they still have access to you. They want to know if they can still occupy a space in your heart. And if you're not careful, you'll let them back, and not because they've changed, but because you're afraid to let go completely. But I came to tell you your power is in your absence. When you walk away, you shift the dynamic. You break the cycle. And you teach people a lesson they'll never forget. You are not to be played with. You are not disposable. You are not someone they can mistreat and expect to return like nothing ever happened. When you stop showing up for people who don't value you, something miraculous happens. You reclaim your power. You start to see yourself the way you were always meant to be seen. And anyone who truly loves you, anyone who truly values you, they won't wait until you leave to realize your worth. They'll cherish you while they have you. So when they come back, don't just open the door. Examine the reason. Are they back because they've grown? Or are they back because they lost their comfort? Are they back to honor you, or are they back to drain you? Your absence revealed your power. Don't let their return steal it again. Don't settle for less. If they return unchanged, they don't deserve your presence. Listen to me, you're not a rehabilitation center for people who refuse to grow. You are not here to babysit brokenness, tolerate disrespect, or accept half-hearted love. If someone walks out of your life and comes back unchanged, they do not deserve the privilege of being in your presence. Period. Too many people settle for empty apologies and recycled promises because they're afraid to be alone. But let me ask you something. What good is it to have someone back in your life if they're bringing the same pain, the same confusion, and the same immaturity? If they couldn't honor you the first time, what makes you think they're ready now just because they miss you? When someone returns, don't let your emotions blind you to the truth. Words are easy, change is hard. Anyone can say, I'm sorry. Anyone can say, I miss you. But if their actions don't align with their words, they're not serious, they're just comfortable. And you are not here to make life easy for people who refuse to grow. Here's the truth: when you know your worth, you stop settling for potential. You stop falling for promises of I'll do better without proof. You stop allowing people to occupy your life while refusing to do the inner work. Because here's the reality: loving someone doesn't mean you lower your standards to keep them. If they can't rise to the level of your expectations, they don't belong in your life. Don't you dare settle for less because you're afraid you won't find better. You are better. And until someone meets you at the level of your standards, they don't deserve the beauty of your presence. The next time someone tries to walk back into your life with the same old behavior, I want you to ask yourself this: what has changed? Are they more consistent, or are they still full of excuses? Are they willing to communicate, or are they still avoiding accountability? Are they bringing peace, or are they still causing chaos? If they cannot answer these questions with their actions, not just their words, they have no business being in your space. Your love is too valuable to waste on people who aren't willing to grow. And hear me clearly, you do not owe anyone a second chance. Grace is a gift, not a guarantee. If they took you for granted the first time, they should feel the weight of that loss. And if they're unwilling to change, you need to have the courage to say, no, my heart is not a revolving door. I know it's tempting to let them back in. I know there are memories. I know you miss the good times. But ask yourself, are you in love with who they are, or are you holding on to who you hope they would become? You cannot build a future on a foundation of false hope. And if they come back unchanged, all they will do is repeat the cycle over and over again until you finally break free. You deserve growth. You deserve consistency. You deserve someone who is willing to evolve to love you properly. And until that happens, your answer should be clear. No, you cannot come back well without change, not without growth, not without effort. Your heart is not a halfway house for people who refuse to mature. Your presence is a privilege. Stop giving it away to people who haven't earned it. And if they come back unchanged, let them know I've grown, I've healed, and I refuse to settle for anything less than I deserve. Control the narrative. You decide. If they have access, don't let emotions dictate. Let me make something crystal clear. You are in control of who gets access to your life, not your emotions, not their apologies, not their tears. You don't. Too many people let their feelings override their power. The moment someone returns, emotions rise, memories flood your mind, your heart starts to soften, and suddenly you forget all the pain they caused. But let me ask you, are they coming back because they value you, or are they coming back because they lost their convenience? When you let your emotions make decisions for you, you open the door for manipulation. People know how to play on your feelings. They know how to say the right words when they want something from you. But here's the truth. Words without action are nothing but noise. And if you allow someone back into your life purely because you miss them, you hand over the power that rightfully belongs to you. You must learn to pause, to separate your feelings from the facts. Feelings will tell you to open the door because you're lonely. Feelings will tell you to give them another chance because you miss how they made you feel. But facts will remind you why you had to walk away in the first place.